Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. Today we're going to be looking at relationships. Does this relationship have potential? So what I first of all want to do is clarify what I mean by relationship. What I'm looking at here is a situation where you've been going out with this person, maybe you've been on a few dates, maybe you've even been seeing each other for a few weeks or months, and you're thinking, well, is this going to go to the next level, be a bit more exclusive for some of you, and for others of you that, you know, it's going to be, I would like to move in with this person, maybe even marry them, and I'm not sure if actually it's going to go anywhere. So really early stages. If you've been with this person for, you know, well over 6 months, well over a year, then this might not be the reading for you. But of course, if you feel that you feel compelled to choose a card, then please carry on, because there might be a message that resonates with you and you feel will help you. But it really is aimed at people in the early stages of a romance. It's not aimed at people that are single and not in a relationship and are wondering what a relationship would be like with a particular person they're attracted to. It is aimed at people that at least have gone on one date. And what I want to say is the potential that the relationship offers doesn't necessarily mean that it's long-term or short-term, but it's what the relationship offers you both. Because sometimes a really good relationship can offer you lots in that you learn a lot from it, you become a better person from it, but actually when you look back you think that was quite a short relationship. And others that they will be more long term. But ultimately the potential of a relationship lies in the hands of you and your partner and the decisions you make together and even as individuals. So if you don't necessarily feel happy with what is said, remember that the tarot reflects the energies of now. I do not believe that you can really predict the future with tarot. I think you can perhaps look at a potential future, but really attitudes, intentions and decisions are being changed day by day. So in the next couple of weeks, the reading could end up being completely different for you. What I want to do now is offer you a bit of clarity and insight into your relationship. And if it resonates with you, you might be able to take something from it that allows you to look at your relationship in a new light and maybe resolve any issues you have with your partner in order to have a more satisfactory relationship or life overall. But remember, it's up to you. You're in control of your own life, and it's up to you to decide whether you want to listen to any of what I say and follow what I say. Because if you feel that you don't want to, you don't have to. You're in control, and I absolutely believe that you make the decisions and you make the choices. So what we're going to do is moving on to the readings. So I want you to make your choice between set 1, which is on the left, set 2, which is in the middle, and set 3, which is on the right. I will put the timestamps in the description box below, along with any details that you might be interested in having a private reading. You can email me to find out how much I charge and what readings that I'm willing to do. And what I offer and what's available, and also my Instagram, because I'm doing daily tarot readings on Instagram, a couple of cards. If you're interested, you can follow me. So I want you to trust your first instinct, your own inner knowing. Don't overthink it, and choose a set that you're sort of irresistibly attracted to out of those 3. If you do need a little bit more time, then please press pause, and when you're ready, move on to your reading. And I'm going to now be starting with reading 1. Okay, this is reading 1. That was the set on the far left. These first 2 cards are your attitudes and intentions in the relationship. Oh, that's not bad. 10 of Wands and the shady, I think I'm saying that right, that's Temperance. So overall, I think that you are finding this relationship maybe a bit of a burden. that it's a bit troublesome to you, that it's quite hard work, but more importantly that you're not willing to give up on it, that you want it to succeed and you're willing to go the distance in order to make it succeed. So I feel that overall that you're fairly committed to it. And if it's not specifically this relationship that you're committed to, then it's relationships overall that you are most certainly ready to commit to a relationship and not going to give up on your dream of being with somebody. So I think that's really your intention, is to not quit. It might be burdensome, you might need to start considering sharing the workload, whether that's opening up to your partner or whatever about your feelings, and maybe you're working too hard generally in your career or whatever, or with your family. But I think you're really wanting this to work, but finding it quite hard, I think. Yeah. I think some of you maybe feeling that you've bitten off more than you can chew, but you're going to carry on chewing. And with, I'm going to call it temperance because I can't pronounce that shitty. I think some of you got mixed feelings about this relationship, possibly due to these feelings of being burdensome. But I think you're willing to work on it. I think actually you're quite patient about it, and I think you're willing to wait and see how it pans out. Like she's cooking up some sort of witch's brew, and it's going to take however long it takes to prepare it. So I think that's what you are. You're sort of willing to be patient, to work at it, to use your intelligence and all your skills and all that, but and offer healing to it. I think if there's been an argument or a bit of a split, and maybe it's a situation of trying to get back together, that what you're willing to do is work at it and take the time it needs to work at it. And that's reinforced in the Ten of Wands, that you're really, really willing to work at it. Next, what we have are your partner's attitude towards this relationship and their intentions towards this relationship. So we have the Five of Atames, which is the Five of Swords, and we have the Eight of Atames, which is the Eight of Swords. So overall, I think that your partner really just feels that he's not possible. I'm going to say he, but of course I'm aware that same-sex relationships count in this, but I'm just going to say he because most of my audience refer to women looking at men. And that's that he possibly doesn't feel properly valued, that the situation here is that this workman has carefully made all of these beautiful daggers, these swords, and that taken him a long time, a lot of skill and a lot of effort, and this merchant just wants to get a good deal. It doesn't matter to him how much work he's put into it and the artistry, he just wants to make a good deal. So I feel this represents your partner in that everything they say and think, they really mean something to them and is important to them, every truth they say. And they feel that maybe you're the merchant that's not properly valuing their input. And there's also feelings of inadequacy in that, because does this man come forward and say to the merchant, well, tough, I'm not giving you this basically the cost of the materials, my hard work and good skills made these daggers, and I want recompense for it. So he might feel that not that he's the lesser partner, but do you know a phrase I hate? Or they're punching above their weight, or she or he is out of their league, which is really not a nice thing to say about anyone. But your partner might feel that at this moment in time, that they're unworthy of you and the relationship because maybe of something that's gone wrong in it, that there's possible issues of self-esteem in the relationship. Maybe they've done something wrong to cause a fight, and whereas you're willing to meet them in the middle about it, they're lacking in that bit of confidence and security. So yeah, I think they're sort of feeling a bit of a struggle there, a bit of a struggle with self-worth, and really this just speaks out to me again. I think they don't feel they can say the right thing or do the right thing, because with this Eight of Atames, she's all blindfolded and tied up, And we can see that she could quite easily make her way through there, because she can't see that from her perspective. If she walks forward, she's going to cut her toes off on one of these daggers. And I think again that represents your partner, is that they feel they can't say the right thing or do the right thing, you know, can't do right for doing wrong. And I think they can't maybe see the way forward through this, that they don't know how to resolve the issue. Of course, the issue can be resolved if you're both willing to work at it. You're willing to offer healing and to meet him in the middle and to work at it and make it all better. But he possibly, or you know, your partner can't see that. They can't see that because they feel lesser out of it. They feel maybe out of the loop, that they're unworthy, that maybe they've done something. But there's certain feelings of inadequacy there. And they may be fighting against, you know, this sort of fighting, and that maybe they're the loser. Sorry, I'll get a sip of water. Yeah. So, you know, if you feel that sort of makes sense, you've got the energy of healing, you can reach out to them and resolve this issue. You know, if you do want this relationship to work, you can resolve it. So these two cards are the potential that the relationship offers. Two of Chalices. The Ace of Chalices. Okay. Well, overall, these are just two lovely cards. But I never offer guarantees on anything. So I'm going to give you two possible solutions because I feel that would be fair. I think if you do meet this partner and say to them, look, tell me what you feel, tell me, really, don't be afraid that I'm going to bite your head off and that I'm going to end it and I'm going to walk away. I want you to tell me how you really think and feel about either what's gone on or just generally about the relationship. You know, because ultimately they could come forward and say, I just didn't want to let you know that it's just not working for me, because you are great, but you know, whatever. They don't recognise maybe this more calm and considerate attitude that you have. And others of you where it's going to be, oh, I just want to tell you, I just don't feel I'm good enough for you. And then you can sort of work your way through it, because the potential of this relationship is shared emotions. I mean, Two of Chalices for me has always been about an equal exchange of emotions, which is why it is as much a friendship card as a love card to me. You know, it's good in a business sense where it's like two people at work that can work well together, they come to an agreement and a union. So this relationship does offer the potential of a proper union. You know, if you come together in love and care and consideration for each other, you can commit, share your love for each other and emotion and your feelings for each other. And those feelings are going to be really good. New love, cup runneth over, well over of emotion. You could come together and agree to stay together and maybe take it a step further, and you're going to feel both overwhelmed with emotion. You know, just feel great. For others of you, the coming together in emotion will represent an agreement that maybe the relationship won't go anywhere, that you're both going to agree and say, do you know what, we gave it a go, but maybe we aren't compatible, maybe we don't want the same things in life, and you know, maybe that's it. But you will be happy with that because you will have communicated with each other and understood each other, and you'll feel sad and unhappy, but also hopeful and maybe even a bit relieved. Because sometimes it's the resolution of a relationship that brings, you know, the true closure, so that you can move on to the next one. So overall, that yes, this relationship has potential to provide something really great, but from two different perspectives. If you want to, you can meet in the middle and have a good relationship for however long you both want it to be. And it can be very emotional and provide you an awful lot of love. But like any relationship, it's going to require work, because on some level your partner can't see the situation maybe clearly, or you know can't see what their value in the relationship and what they can bring to it. But it does have potential. It's just how you want to develop that potential and express it, because there is a lot of positivity on offer and good for you. Even if the relationship doesn't work out overall, you will both learn a lot from it. and I think come out of it at the end as friends or with a lot of love and compassion for the other person. So I hope that reading has helped you, that it's resonated with you. Please leave me a comment in the comment section. Please take very good care of yourself and your partner, and thank you for listening. Bye. Right, everybody, this is reading 2, which was the set in the middle of the 3 options. What we're going to look at first are sort of your intentions and attitudes towards your relationship. Ooh. And so we have the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, you've got really good feelings about this relationship and you have very pure intentions. What we have with the Queen of Wands are positive feelings of friendliness, warmth. You know, there's commitment and passion there. So I think you really, really do want this relationship to work. You've got good vibes about it. I think you're open to all the possibilities of the relationship. You're open to probably being in it long term. At the very least, you mean no harm. I think you do want to take care of your partner in some way. There's a lot of loving energy. It's just very vibrant and lovely. Very positive. So, I mean, that's a good sign that, you know, half of the work of making a relationship succeed is that you want to make it succeed. So that's really good. That's good vibes. You're also willing to work at it. I think you probably recognise that it'll involve hard work on some level, but you're also willing to work hard at it. The Knight of Pentacles, for me, is all about the dirty slog of hard work, you know, the mundane details, the jobs that nobody enjoys doing, but they need to be done. And the Knight of Pentacles represents that. And look there is an offering of flowers and hope. So I think you're willing to do the more mundane nitty-gritty aspects in making a relationship work. I don't think that you're lost in the clouds of a knight in shining armour and romance. I think you see the reality of what a relationship requires, and in particular what this relationship requires, and you're embracing it with an open and warm heart. Yeah, I think you really feel that this relationship's got good potential for you and for this other person, and you're willing to do what it takes, you know, in a sense, to make it work. Even when it's boring, you want to be in this relationship. So now what we've got are your partner's intentions and attitudes towards the relationship. And we have the Queen of Atames, which is the Queen of Swords. And we have one of the Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. I mean, that's 2 queen energies, and it doesn't matter if your partner is male, even though these are queens. They're still, I don't put gender onto cards, just the way they're expressed as an energy. So your partner is seriously thinking about this. The Queen of Atames is a planner, a strategizer. You know, she, I can't say the word. She deals in strategy. She plans ahead. She thinks about it. She's calm, collected. She can sometimes come off as aloof, but it doesn't mean that she doesn't care. It just means that her way of expressing her emotions is possibly due to going inwards rather than outwards. You know, whereas yours is about being very expressive and passion and drive and warmth, hugging people or whatever. The Queen of Atames doesn't do that. You know, she's a bit more discreet and subtle. But she is a truth speaker and has clarity and honesty. So I think your partner's really thinking honestly and truthfully and planning and thinking about your relationship. So at best, you can definitely say they have, they've thought it through. There's no sort of stupid mosquito everywhere. They are definitely thinking it through seriously. So whatever happens, you can't say they haven't done that. They have put a lot of thought into, and from every angle. And they're also, the intention is to, again, be warm and to provide and to support. And that can be financially as well as sort of emotionally and with goods. So they might be thinking long term and thinking, well, is this somebody that I could have a happy family with, that I could live with and have children with, and You know, if this is a gentleman you're thinking, and you're a lady, you know, if they have my children, that I would need to at points financially support them as well, you know, and sort of buy a house. You know, we're going to have to buy a house together, but at some point that she'll need me to carry the sort of load of supplying material goods, which is what still happens a lot nowadays. You can still be a working woman, get married and have kids, but you know, quite often you have to reduce your hours at work, and therefore your income's reduced. And husbands quite often will pick up that slack. You know, not always, but quite often. So I think they're really considering what they can provide to you, you know, as a supporter, and how the relationship will support them in their thoughts and ideas and their plans, as well as you. So definitely this person is taking it seriously. Whatever the solution is, whether the solution comes forward as this isn't going to work, they really, really have thought it through in a mature, balanced way with an eye to the future. And so I think you can take it that they are taking it as seriously as you. Yeah. Definitely taking it. So it's all, both of you have seriously mature energy and very grounded energy, you know, sort of, they're not up in the air and overly emotional. So now we have the potential of the relationship. Now remember, the potential is something that you need to act on to make it a reality, and also that you can change it if you don't like the potential that this offers. So we have the 5 of Pentacles and we have the 6 of Chalices, which is a weird combination. So I think that the potential here, you know, it's on some level, there's 5 of Pentacles, which is sort of being on the outside. So I mean, I wonder whether this will go anywhere, this relationship, because the 5 of Pentacles is like being out in the cold, being alone, and sort of, it is material want. So maybe the relationship might not offer you or your partner everything that you would hope it would, which in itself isn't a bad thing, because that's what happens in life. You plan for one thing and you get another. It's the dealing with it that's the issue. But it's also about working to get yourself out of that situation. You don't have to be stuck on your own in the bench out in the snow. You know, why isn't she in that lovely warm space with the standing stones? Why doesn't she just turn around and go and walk down there and stand in front of the fire instead of in the snow? So on some level that there might be a want in the relationship. Now you might be looking and saying, but we both know that we haven't got a lot of cash, and that's why they're really concerned about the future. So what I would say is, if you know full well that neither of you have got 2 pennies to rub together, then you're right. That is what at the moment the potential of the relationship is about. Perhaps not having a lot to live on. That initially in your relationship you're going to be quite poor, but a lot of relationships start off that way, where you have to scrimp and save in order to get the deposit to a house or a flat or whatever, and you can't buy nice stuff, and you have to wait a few years until you're both established and money's not as tight. We also have the 6 of Chalices, which is the card of nostalgia and the past and childhood and sort of reunion and stuff. So for some of you, know the relationship will end, but you will look on it fondly. You will look back with real happiness that you were even with this person for a short while. For the others of you, the potential of the relationship is, yes, there's not going to be an awful lot of material goods there, and maybe for some reason the relationship excludes you from certain groups, like pushes you on the outside. Maybe there's not a lot of approval or something, but that you overall will be happy together. You know, just remember that there's only so long that you can sustain being in that kind of place. You know, that you do really need to try and, you know, if friends and family are opposed to this relationship, you do need to try and reconcile your group to the relationship, because you don't want to be forced and excluded on the outside for too long. You do need to, you know, show them that, you know, get this person into the group, or for that person to get you into their group. You don't want people looking down on the relationship, because that inevitably can cause serious issues. You want to reconcile all your social circle and family to this relationship, and that possibly can happen because of the Six of Chalices, which, you know, does overall sort of present a very positive, happy, pleasant image. Yeah, so some of you it won't work out, but you're going to look on it fondly, and others of you it's going to have a bit of hardship, but I don't think you'll mind. But remember, it's all about potential. You can overcome this energy, you know, this situation with hard work and dedication, and end up in this one where you're both having a great time and are happy together. So I hope that's helped you, that offered some insight into the situation for you, and will help you on your journey. So please take very good care of yourself, and thank you very much for listening. Bye. Right, everybody, this is reading 3. This is your relationship. Remember that you can change anything that you don't like the sound of by positive mental attitude quite often, but also definitely communication. And anything that I say is potential and can be changed. It doesn't have to be this way. It's not fate. So these 2 things are your intentions and attitudes towards the relationship. Oh, we have the King of Wands and the King of Chalices. Right, there we go. Okay, so, I mean, 2 kings. I don't think this is your first relationship. I think that you're definitely a more mature energy. That's not to say that you're old, because I don't really, you know, I think that you're probably in your 30s, or at the very least you've led a very varied and experienced life that's allowed you to develop this maturity. But I don't really buy into specifically aging people depending on tarot cards, because it's about the energies and experiences and, you know, whatever. So, but you're definitely, I feel, the leader in this relationship. This is about being like the grown-up, the mentor, the leader, the more experienced one. And it's still about being passionate and energetic and excited by things and feeling passionate about the relationship, but you're just grown up with it. I think that you are experienced in love, or at the very least experienced with people, and you're taking that with you into this new relationship, that maturity. But I definitely think that you're the more dominant one so far in this relationship. That yeah. You know, definitely. Somehow you have the more power or experience. It doesn't mean that you want to dominate them. It's just that maybe they're younger than you. For some of you, they're younger. And if not in age, in mind and heart. But you've also got mature, balanced energy. King of Chalices is all about head and heart, and that's sort of represented by that he's managed to get wealthy, he's got enough smarts to be wealthy, but also understands the importance of doing the things he loves and being indulging. So you're I think that you're looking at this relationship in an emotionally balanced way, with emotional intelligence, and both of them are about good intentions, but they're also mature, sophisticated and sort of leadership energies. So I do think that you're reasonably in control of this relationship in some way. It doesn't mean, as I say, that you're trying to dominate it. I think it's just by virtue of who you are as a person and your life experiences. I think you've learnt a lot over your life and in your previous relationships, and it's influencing this relationship, for good or for bad. It doesn't have to be for bad, it could be good. You could be making a better success of this relationship than your other ones because you've learned from your previous mistakes. So these 2, yeah, definitely 2, sorry, I thought I picked up all of them then. These 2 cards are the energies of your partner, their intentions and attitudes towards your relationship, and this is at this moment. So we have the Holy King, and we have Nature, which is Death card. So I mean, these are big energy cards because they're major arcana, that that's the Hermit card. So they're learning a lot from this relationship, and they know it. Their intention is that I am going to learn from you. And remember, this is you're the teacher, leader, and mentor energy for these cards, and they know it. That's what they want to do. They want to grow and develop with you. And they might be going inwards a lot to do it, because the Hermit card and this Holly King card is about retreating away from everything to go off and have a good think about it, retreating off to learn something, to connect with your inner wisdom and your inner voice, and also to be the student but to be the teacher. So for some of you, you might feel that this will be a short-term romance, and that these people also, that it's one where you're there to teach them something and they feel that they're there to learn. So some of you might not want this to be a very long-term relationship, but you're just intrigued by the potential. For others of you, that you're thinking, I want to be with this person forever. I want to marry them, settle down with them, and stay with them. What you need to be aware of is that even just with these 3 cards here, is that it can be a bit imbalanced. I mean, I think what they're trying to do is learn from you in order to be your match. And you need to encourage that if you want this to be a long-term romance, because any imbalanced relationship will not last. It will be doomed to failure, because at some point the partner that's on the lower level, that's there to learn, will match the teacher and sort of feel, well, I've achieved the healing that I need to achieve, I've learned the skills I need to learn, and I'm ready now to move on. So you need to make sure that you don't fall into the teacher-student energy far too much. You need to be in a relationship of equals for a relationship to work. Because we've also got the nature, which is the Death card. So your partner is thinking that this relationship, their intentions is to let that which no longer serves them die off. It's about moving into a new life. Death isn't about physical death and that someone around you is going to die. It's about saying, okay, well, I need to leave that part of me behind because it's not doing me any good anymore. Whether it's a sort of mental attitude or a part of their personality that they've allowed to dominate themselves, and really, they're not allowing their best selves to come through. They're walking away from some sort of trap. So I really do think that their intentions and beliefs and attitudes towards this relationship is that it will change them. They might also really want to change the relationship. You're looking at it mature, that you are calling the shots. I think they're going off to have a think about how they can change the relationship for the better, probably, because they want to let go of what isn't any good anymore. So they might want to transform the relationship into something better, where they can come forward and say, I am your equal, you're not my teacher. And do not forget that you've got sort of more mature cards here, but so have they. They're not insignificant people. I think they are your match, but somehow that you're maybe not recognizing it, and that's why they're sort of possibly mentally retreating, if not physically. So they can go off and say, well, I need to let go of this part of my character, or show them that I have outgrown this aspect of myself, and that I am in fact a different person, because change is there. I think they're really changing. They're willing to change the relationship or themselves, or they recognise this relationship is going to do that for them. So these 2 cards are the potential of the relationship. Now, bearing in mind that there's 2 of you and there's combined energies and all that, this is just potential. We have the Ace of Atames and the 7 of Chalices. So the real potential of this is truth. I think you're both going to get a lot of truth out of this, especially if it's the teacher-student aspect. I think you're both going to learn a lot from it, and see a lot of clarity about relationships and your relationship. It is also representative of success. So for some of you, that yes, this relationship really does have potential for you both. And again, I always say that just because it's potential doesn't mean it's potential longevity or whatever. I think it's just going to overall do you both good to be in this relationship. And I think ultimately, I mean, I would say this anyway, but definitely with this relationship, it's up to you, because the Seven of Chalices is about choice. Choices. So you can choose to stay with it or to not. You know, you might be at a real crossroads in this relationship, but I think if you're both willing to work at it, you know, you could choose to stay with this person for the rest of your life. And you'll find a lot of truth in it and a lot of success and victory. You know, it's good. I think it could be a really good relationship for you both. You need to acknowledge their power. I mean, this is a powerful person with the Holy King and the Nature card. They're willing and able to go off and retreat. And, you know, this isn't about going off and having a few hours and pondering. This person could go off and exclude everything and dedicate themselves to understanding something and then teaching them. This is the Hermit card. This is somebody that, you know, if they have to just go off in the clothes they're standing in and drive off and sleep in their car for 3 months while they reach a discovering inner wisdom, or, you know, the only way I'm going to get this opportunity is if I drive to the other side of the country non-stop, they will do it. They will sacrifice what they need to do in order to achieve the truth of themselves, inner knowledge, and inner knowledge, inner self, to discover their true selves even, and what they can achieve, what they can do, and wisdom, and then they will come out and share it. So for some of you, your partner's gone off and they're going to come and present you with something, this knowledge that they've changed something within themselves, they've let something go. And so you need to think, how am I going to react to that? If they're offering me this, do I value it? And I think you're grown up enough to really value that. But there's potential of truth, and there's potential of opportunity to follow dreams, and to realise your true potential, to follow a dream. So if this relationship is a dream come true for you, there's a potential there to make it happen. If you work at it, if you talk together and communicate, there's a really good chance for this relationship to offer you a lot. I don't think there's anything more I can say on that. So what I'd like to say to you is take very good care of yourself and take very good care of your partner. I wish you all the best of luck, and thank you very much for listening. Bye.